back. Looks like we're going to be doing another Marvel's Moon Knight reaction. So here we go. Alright, first things first. I feel like I'm coming off a lot like a super fan, or I was previously aware of the Moon Knight character in a way that, like, from my childhood, I just love this character. I'll say this. It's not that I didn't like the Moon Knight character when I was younger. I was aware of who the character was. Very similarly to what a lot of people online are saying, it was more of a comparison to Batman. So you did he was a detective, at least one of the personalities was a detective. He was a vigilante, cape, worked at night, similarities there. I will say that the bigger differences were depending on, I guess, which iteration of Batman you're talking about. The Moon Knight character was a lot more violent. Like, he was way more. I mean, the character was based on a mercenary with split personality that also fought people with moon god powers. So I mean, it got pretty violent. I will say, going into this show, I knew what I was kind of in for. I had an idea of what the show was going to look like, right? I saw the trailers. I saw what Marvel did with WandaVision, with the Winter Soldier. I never thought that they were going to go the route that they went with this. They're taking a lot of chance with this show. Now, I'll say this. The pacing, amazing. The way that they're showing the difference between the Mark Spector character, the Stephen Grant character, amazing. Adding the addition of his wife, the conversations he's having with Khonshu, everything that's happening throughout the show as far as kind of developing like who he is, like the moments that Stephen's aware of, the fact that Mark seems aware at all times of what's going on, which they haven't really explained in the show, so it'll be interesting how they kind of explain that. Because for Stephen, he goes to sleep, no idea what's going on. With Mark, even when Stephen's awake, he's aware of what's going on, because he's always the one that kind of jumps in, like, I can help you, I can bring the suit on, I can fight whatever these, like, what was it, the Egyptian jackal that was in the museum, and then subsequently the one that ends up trying to fight him when Arthur Harrow gets the police officers go to Stephen's apartment, basically kidnap him, say like, hey, you don't have to believe in Khonshu, give me the scare of that whole thing. And then another, Egyptian jackal, no one can see it, Moon Knight's fighting him. Okay. I will say that as far as the comics are concerned, I know there are multiple personalities. They've only shown 2 so far. They did kind of tease in this episode, and I had to watch it 3 times because I heard it the first time. I was aware of it the second time because I was looking for it. And then the third time I was like, okay, well, they should definitely be going into this now. The Mark character, once he takes over after he becomes Moon Knight in the episode, spoiler, there's a little like exchange that they have where he's talking to Stephen and kind of going back and forth and saying like, hey, I know you're trying to get the body back, but the person in control of the body, like, something's changed. So like, you don't have the ability to just switch back and forth the way that you used to. So he's kind of alluding to there's going to be another personality that, will kind of come out, and we'll kind of see how that personality interacts with like the rest of the show, like the pacing, what have you. I'm genuinely excited. Like, the way that they're doing the mental health, the way that they're going about let's just call it troubled character, right? Arthur Harrow's character kind of is talking to Stephen. He's like, yeah, Khonshu's looking for broken people. And he's like, I'm not broken. I just need some help. I'm just trying to figure out my way through the world, which, great. Just trying to figure it out. Not saying anything about mental health. I've talked about it many times on the channel. I think that people addressing mental health, understanding that there are like a spectrum that people are on when it comes to mental health, like the severity, how they deal with it, how they function within society, all of that. It's very interesting to see how they're doing it on the show. It's very interesting to see that they're giving basically a superhero, or let's just call it, currently we'll call him the superhero because he's helping, the little guy. He's bringing revenge. He's a fist of vengeance for Khonshu. But it's interesting how they're kind of portraying his struggle, his battle with mental health, and then him also battling with having these powers that he's now being introduced to. Love the fact that when they had the scene with Steven and Layla when the Jackal first came out, and she was like, get the suit, get the suit, get the suit. And then he's falling, he's like, suit. And then he goes into the other Moon Knight personality that has the white suit, not the actual like Khonshu, like fighting Moon Knight with the cape suit. And he's like, yeah, she said suit, I just assumed. So it's showing that in his mind, he can kind of conjure up whatever it is he wants. So he's thinking suit, white suit comes on. Not the actual suit that he needs, but I love that part. And the fact that he started to kind of show that he was able to get a little bit of control of the Moon Knight powers. Like he was able to pull out the that like one jab that he was able to do with the Jackal, where even Mark was like, oh, I'm kind of impressed. Like you're able to hit him. I wasn't expecting that. I'm interested to see, because they do show that the Layla character was both aware of the Moon Knight persona, aware of the suit, and kept telling him like, just use the suit, just use the suit. Like, this is how we're gonna get out of this situation. Use the suit, we'll be fine. It's gonna be interesting to see how that kind of plays moving forward, because she seems completely comfortable with all of this. Him having the suit, him attacking people. She's now aware of the fact that there's like mystical creatures or invisible creatures, there we go, that are fighting, because initially with the whole fight with Moon Knight when the Jackal first came, she had no idea what was going on. She broke like a liquor bottle? Some bottle with liquid. She hit it over the Jackal's head. You saw the effect of the like the liquid like pouring down Jackal. She's like, there's something there. He's not just kind of throwing himself up and down the street, hitting cars just randomly. There is something there that he's like fighting against. And then, obviously she's like, take it away from the people. You don't want people to get hurt. I am genuinely every single week looking forward to this show. The way that they're going to pace the show, the different locales, the fact that the sort of like end sort of teaser to what the next episode is going to be was, hey, we lost the Scarab. Khonshu's really upset. And boom, they're in Egypt. Should be interesting. Love to see this kind of transition that they're doing where it's just you're in one place and then they kind of jump to the next. And they've allowed for the fact that they can do those kinds of jumps because if Mark go to sleep, time is lost. So if time's lost, you can jump to anywhere in the world and you don't really have to explain. They could explain, but you don't have to explain how they got there. It's already been established in the first episode, and now in the second episode, if somebody goes to sleep or makes a decision to go somewhere, time will just jump you there. Like you don't have to see the point A to point B. Great. So I'm looking forward to seeing where the show goes. I'm looking forward to seeing how Moon Knight ties into the larger like MCU universe. If it stays a TV show, I think I'll love it. It'll probably be similar to like Flash, Arrow, like that whole DC extended universe that they did on CW, where you got multiple seasons. I'd love it. If Moon Knight was if Moon Knight went to the MCU and was in some films, but specifically was more like a TV show and it was just a bunch of seasons of it, I would love it, because for most of the characters, Iron Man, the Hulk, Captain America, Thor, any of those characters, I would love to see those characters as a TV show, because then you get more content. So the more content we get, the better. If it's just one like tentpole, like, oh, this is gonna be the blockbuster movie for the season, I mean, it's gonna be good. Like Marvel does good with movies, but when they can do a TV show and they can flesh out the character, they can kind of expand more of like the lore behind the character and why you should be invested in the character, it's great, because then you don't have to wait years between films to see more of the characters that you're interested in. So I think them kind of pushing towards, okay, we have the streaming service, we're doing the TV shows on the streaming service, it'll be great. So, looking forward to the next episode. Love to hear what you guys think of the episode. Love to hear what you guys think as far as the pacing of the show, how they're dealing with mental health. If you think that the show is going to start to bring in some of the movie MCU characters, or if you think it'll be kind of like a standalone and they'll just develop this universe and then they'll introduce it later, or maybe have them come into like a Marvel movie that's coming out later, like the next Guardians movie. Guardians is space on me, like Guardians. Maybe next Black Panther movie, something like that. If they'll bring it in that way, or if they're gonna tie someone into the show, leave a comment down below. Like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. I'm gonna be bringing more and more Moon Knight content every week that the show comes out. I'll be doing like a little episode of me just kind of ranting, talking about it. And if there's anything else you'd like to see, there's other things coming to the channel, some unboxing things I'm working on, some gaming stuff I'm working on. So any suggestions you guys have, love to hear it down in the comments. And that's it.